I have nothing but absolute respect for those who are going to Freiburg on Thursday. Do you know why? Because you're having to fork out a lot more money than you would want to in order just to get there. Train strikes and rail cancellations have put travel plans into a state of disarray. Fans are having to travel from Nice to Basel, Basel to Berlin, Berlin, and then getting a coach there or something like that. I can only imagine that's one way of getting there, because the national rail strikes in Germany on the day have certainly not helped. Mind you, bloody typical, innit, that happens on the day that fans are travelling. And we didn't even get to go to the game when it happened in the group stages. Why? Because West Ham fans got banned. Talk about the shitty end of the stick. As I said in the intro clip, it's going to be a hell of a trek to get to Freiburg, but once you get there, you might actually like it. It's not a very big city, I must admit, but it's a welcoming and warming and hospitable place to be, from what I gather. It's like a lot of other cities in Germany as well. You'll have your range of pubs, beer, street food, schnitzels, pretzels, stands, and that kind of thing. Market, even. Just a very typical German city. And West Ham fans are no stranger to going to Germany. Seem to go there like every year for some kind of Conference League or Europa League game anyway. So welcome back, folks. Freiburg is officially known as Freiburg im Breisgau. It's located in the German state of Baden-Württemberg. It has a population of 231,000 and has 41 districts. It's located on the edge of the Black Forest and is known for its scenic views due to its close proximity with Schlossberg. This is a tree-covered hill on the outskirts of the city. It's also in the heart of one of Germany's most predominant wine regions. So if you do like your wine, or you've got a wife, missus, girlfriend, mother, grandmother, whatever, or even you yourself like having a glass of red, you're going to the right place. You can try one of the wineries. Maybe not this time of year, but still, wineries are there, and there are over 39,000 acres of wineries covering this state. Schauinsland is a mountain in the Black Forest, and it's a 30-minute drive away from the city. You could even take a day trip there if you landed earlier, or maybe not if your travel expenses don't allow it. I've picked out 3 things that you can do in this city. Firstly is the Kolumbischirchler Archaeological Museum. It was built in 1983 as a way to preserve the prehistoric importance of this area. It was actually a museum built inside of a manor house, and a public park is located nearby. The park, unfortunately, I have to add, doesn't have a good reputation according to a tourism website, but there are efforts in place to try and clean it up and to reduce antisocial behaviour. The Arboretum Freiburg Günterstall is a large botanical garden nearby as well. It was first formed in 1896 after a series of Douglas firs were planted, and many large-scale trees were planted over the next 100 years. The University of Freiburg's Botanical Department and the owners of the Freiburg Botanical Garden jointly own the area. And another park you can go to is the Dietenbach Park. It was constructed 50 years ago and opened to the public in 1986. It has sports ground, tennis courts, and even a picnic area, and even a barbecuing area as well. So if you want to get some shrimps on the barbie, well, again, not the right time of year, but so what? You're on an away day. Do it. Europa Park Stadion is one of the newest stadiums in the Bundesliga. It was opened in 2021, and it took 3 years to build. In 2015, the residents of Freiburg opted for the construction of a new Bundesliga football stadium because SC Freiburg's old stadium, known as Dreischeibenstadion, was no longer able to meet the requirements of a Bundesliga stadium. The pitch's dimensions were too small. Here's one interesting thing about this. There is actually an airfield right next to the airport. So if you have a private jet and want to visit Freiburg in the future, you could literally land right next to the stadium, come and go on the same day. That's something to think about. But you need to get a private jet first, innit? How do you get there? Well, the best way to get there is by tram. The stadium is right next to Europa Park Stadion tram stop. It's on line 4 of the tram system in Freiburg. I'm going to end the video, as per the case with flyaway videos, with 3 things to know before you go. 3 local laws that you will need to know about. Firstly, if you're planning to rent out an e-scooter or any kind of electronic vehicle, whether it be big or small, you need to present a valid driver's license and obtain temporary insurance. The latter is mandatory for all electronic vehicles in Germany. You must adhere to speed limits, and you cannot ride these vehicles on public walkways. Like many European countries, Germany does experience protests from time to time. Many demonstrations are non-violent, but they can become volatile with little warning. If you see large gatherings or some commotion going on in public, avoid it and walk in a different direction if you have to. Now, in these videos, I often do stress the importance of carrying some kind of ID. In Germany, you don't necessarily need to do this. It's not a strictly enforced law for tourists to have ID on them at all times. And you do not have to carry your passport with you at all times. But if you ever are stopped by the police and they request to see your passport, you would be inclined to show it. If that you have the passport in your hotel or accommodation, you will have to be escorted to the premises in order to retrieve it. That's all from me for now. But the final and most important rule is, have a safe trip, be it all long, and enjoy the game.